Hello and welcome back to Not Just Buildings. Now, you might be wondering, do I have the right podcast? What on earth is Not Just Buildings? Well, listener, I'm pleased to tell you that we have renamed Chamber Vibes to something that more accurately reflects the purpose of this podcast, which is to tell the stories of businesses, nonprofits, and institutions in the area of Bedford, Virginia, which we do by talking to the real local people working behind the scenes. Plus, the new name is pretty catchy, and it's inspired by longtime chamber and board member Bill Moss, who always says that businesses aren't just buildings, they're people. Thank you, Bill, for your years of service to our chamber and business community. We appreciate you. Anyway, thanks so much for sticking with us as we grow, and if you're new to the podcast, we're glad to have you join us as we kick off 2026. Now, for our official introduction, welcome to Not Just Buildings, where we interview the local people behind businesses, nonprofits, and institutions in the area of Bedford, Virginia. My name is Foster Garrett, and I am the Director of Marketing and Events for the Bedford Area Chamber of Commerce, which is a membership organization whose mission is to serve as a catalyst for local business success, a convener of regional leadership, and a champion for a vibrant and resilient economy. However, before we get to the interview, I would like to highlight some of our upcoming programming and events. We offer a little bit of everything for everyone, so I encourage you to stick around to learn more about what's next. But if you want to just jump straight to today's interview, no worries. You can find all of our programming on bedfordareachamber.com, and I'll drop our phone number at the end of this episode, so make sure to listen all the way through. But welcome back, everybody. I am so grateful to be here with you in this new year. We have lots of things planned for 2026, and we have only been back in the office for about 3 days now, but we are swamped. We have so much to do because we have a great year ahead of us. January is an amazing month because we do all of our partnership renewals, we have new members that are coming on, and we have our kickoff event for the year, which is called In With the New. This year will be held on Thursday, January 29th from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Bedford Area Welcome Center. And it is an amazing way to start the year off strong, start accomplishing your business goals, start making new connections with other chamber members and people living and working in Bedford and the surrounding areas. It'll be a really fun night just to come by, say hello, shake some hands, meet some new people, enjoy some hors d'oeuvres, and share some business cards. So we really hope to see you there. It's a free event. You don't have to register to come. We'll also have some tables set up by some of our newest chamber members from last year. So you can come learn about some of the new businesses that are in our area and some of the people that are just new to our chamber. But I really encourage you to come out there because it kind of just sets the tone for chamber involvement for the year. If maybe last year you came to a couple of events or maybe just did the podcast or the radio or one-offs with some of our programming, this is a great way to kind of dip your toe back into it. And if you've never come to anything chamber related before, whether you're a member or not, this is a great way just to meet me and Kayla, our board members, our ambassadors, everybody that's kind of the core of chamber leadership will be there. And it's just a good way to figure out, what exactly we're about and how you can get involved and how it can serve you and what you do. Like I said, that's January 29th, and that's really the start of the year for us. I could go through everything, but I'll highlight a couple other things that are happening in the spring. We have our spring job fair on April 17th from 10:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Blue Ridge Community Church at New London. Registration is open for that and our fall job fair, which is happening in August, also at the same place. We're so excited to have Blue Ridge Community Church in New London be our permanent home for this event. We loved partnering with them last year. They have an amazing space, and we're just excited to continue growing this event and welcoming job seekers and employers alike. If you think that you'll be needing to hire great people in April or August, you can go ahead and sign up. We actually are offering 10% off for anybody that bundles both job fairs. We have a lot of people that come year after year to every event, and this is just a good way to get it all on your calendar and save a little money too. Also in March is our CTE Expo, Career and Technical Education Expo. That's happening on Wednesday, March 11th, and it's kind of an all-day event. It's from roughly 9:30 to 3 o'clock. And it's happening at Susie G. Gibson Science and Technology Center, which is right in the town of Bedford, off of Edmund Street. I am super excited for this event. This is something that our chamber has partnered with Bedford County Public Schools to do since 2017. It, of course, fell off during COVID when we couldn't do a whole lot, especially with students. And we have brought it back over the past 3 years and tried to make it a little bit more relevant and impactful to the experience offered by Bedford County Public Schools. If you didn't know, we actually have over 60 different career and technical education courses offered across all of the high schools and middle schools. And that's in addition to Susie Gibson, which offers 15 different programs that typically end up with some type of certification in a technical field such as nursing or HVAC or construction or auto body, anything like that. So we're really grateful to have those programs in our community, and we want to tell students more about those things because a lot of people don't know about them until they're in high school and then they're having to make those decisions. We want to kind of give students the opportunity to come into their 9th grade year with an expectation of what is available. And we also want to show off all these great programs and teachers and students that are doing this great work to our business community. So if you, as a business person, would like to give back to students and inspire them as they start their high school education journey and very shortly their career journey, this is a great way to get involved with the schools. We're just inviting everybody to come participate. There's no cost to it. And all you have to do is get in contact with me. We'll put you in contact with the teachers if there's a relevant course to your industry, and you guys can come up with a hands-on demonstration for the students. We'll have like 10 to 20 students per group. They'll spend like 15 to 20 minutes with you, and it's a great way to just kind of plant that seed early in the minds of students about if maybe they're not college bound or they're looking at different options. This is a great way to show them alternate avenues to success, especially right here in our local community. I've talked a lot. We have lots of things going on. I'll keep telling you more and more as those things get closer. But if you want to learn about anything, like I said before, everything that we offer is on bedfordareachamber.com. And you're always welcome to reach out to us with questions. The Chamber would love to hear from you, whether you're a Chamber member, community member, or just a listener who enjoys our podcast. But that's enough from me. Without further ado, please allow me to introduce today's guest, Kayla Boone with the Bedford Area Chamber of Commerce. Kayla, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
I know, it's so funny introducing you. Kayla with Bedford Area Chamber, as if I don't see you every single day.
Right.
Well, Kayla, welcome back. It's always fun to have you on because I feel like we could just chat forever, but it's always cool to kind of give the chamber itself a platform to talk about what we do. That's not before everybody speeds through and gets to the actual chunk of the podcast.
It's funny too, because I always tell people when we are meeting with members or potential members, we have to kind of go through and see what they are looking for most out of chamber membership, because if you and I just went through every single thing that we offer, we would be talking all day. And that's kind of how this podcast could go. We could probably be here for 6 hours.
We probably could. I've always thought it would be fun if I dedicated, the last 15 minutes of the podcast to just asking, so what are your business goals for the year? And then I can give them some suggestions how maybe opportunities that we offer, things we just know about, could help them. But unfortunately, it would not be 15 minutes. It would be 5 hours. Because every time I have one of those meetings, we dedicate 30 minutes to it, and then we're there for an hour and a half.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really great issue to have.
It is a great issue.
And really, depending on people's schedules, if you need us to give you a quick 5-minute, here's the most important thing you should do, we can totally do that. But if you want to hear everything, we'll give you everything.
And prepping for it too, I'll have page of notes. I'm here you go. Here's all my possible suggestions. Let's go through it. I love doing that.
Yeah.
Because there's so many ways that we can just help people. It's not always obvious. We're often the connectors and the door openers more than anything, but that matters because you never know what you don't know.
Exactly.
Well, Kayla, let's give everybody, I mentioned what the chamber is in my spiel, but do you want to just give an overview in your own words?
Sure. The way that I always explain it is that we're a membership-based organization. We help businesses, individuals, nonprofits, and there's a saying in the chamber world, if you've seen one chamber, you've seen one.
Mm-hmm.
So just generally what that means is that every chamber, while we have very similar goals, big, vague things that we're trying to accomplish, the way that we accomplish them is very different across the board. So, we have a lot of people that don't know what a chamber of commerce is whatsoever. Some people think they might know. Some people are like, yeah, when I lived in this other town, I was involved in that chamber. And half the time, when that's the case, what we do is totally different than what that other chamber does. So, when you're trying to get involved with the chamber, I think that it's always really important and really impactful to meet with the staff and figure out what exactly that chamber does so that you can know exactly how they can benefit you the most. And I always like to throw out there, because a lot of people don't know, our Chamber of Commerce is an independent nonprofit organization.
Mm-hmm.
There are chambers out there that are part of the local government, they're fully funded by the government, what have you. That's not the case for us. We partner with our government, and they're great collaborators with us. But at the end of the day, we are an independent nonprofit, and we rely on people paying membership dues. We rely on having sponsors and having people come to events and participate in our things so that we can continue what we do.
I think that's like both the great strength of our chamber and most chambers, but also a great weakness, because we are an organization that is made up of members, or made up of people, made up of businesses. And if people aren't engaged, then, what's kind of the point? Because we're doing this for our community. And I think it's been awesome to really see people, as we've kind of grown over the past 3 years and changed some of the things that we do and offered new things, talking to everybody, what is it that would serve you best? What are you most interested in? And seeing people kind of come out of the woodwork and come together and not only support that, but be a part of it. It's amazing. And it gives us a lot of freedom to be innovative compared to if we had to deal with the red tape of local government. And I think our partners often see that. And that's why it's great to have them as collaborators in what we do, because we have their support, but we have a lot more freedom and ability to serve in different ways.
We do. And that's one of the great things about having such an amazing board of directors is that they hired me to do this job. I hired you to do your job. And for the most part, I'm able to make the important decisions day to day. I don't have to wait until a board vote to do certain things. And that's, when I first was hired, I made it very clear that I was not one to just continue doing things for the sake of doing them. That's how we've always done it. If it's not impactful, if it's not serving people, I don't see the point in spending your time and energy and resources on it. So we've changed so much over the years, very intentionally, not just for the sake of changing it, but because we want clarity. We want things to be impactful.
It's funny to say that, because I feel like that's not like a crazy take, but a lot of people just aren't able to do that, or they don't have the vision to do it. And it's been really rewarding for me to be a part of this team and really evolve our chamber. And even since you came on last summer, we talked a lot about, your role as president CEO and some of the things that we had changed at that point. But even since then, I feel like a lot has shifted and morphed.
It has. I mean, we're really constantly evolving, because our community is constantly evolving, the economy is constantly evolving, and our role, what people need from us, is always evolving. And that goes back to being a membership organization. If you're not keeping up with the ever-changing landscape of your community, the economy, at some point you'll be completely irrelevant as an organization. So you have to keep up. Even if, there are people out there that don't love changing things, or they say, well, the chamber's done this as long as I can remember. But if it's not serving people today, then it doesn't really matter if that's what we've always done.
Yeah. And we've changed. I mean, we can go into some of the things that we've changed and added, But even just renaming this podcast, I mean, God, that was a good feeling. I love that we're finally getting to do that, because I absolutely love this podcast, but we always just refer to it as the podcast because the name doesn't give you an idea of what it is that we do and why we do this. And the reason that we do this is to tell the stories of our chamber members and to connect you as the listener to them and to our community. And I always say, like, I love doing this because I love talking to people. First of all, I'm a yapper, but I also just like learning about new things in our community, the hidden gems, the different resources if I ever need them, the services that I now use, the fun things I get to do with my friends and family, and the referrals that I get to give.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many things that you and I know about our members solely because of this podcast.
Yes.
We have a ton of people that are, everyone's always slammed. Everyone's busy. No one has enough staff. No one has enough time in the day. But people carve out an hour and a half to come do this podcast. And the amount of information that we can get out in that amount of time is so beneficial. It really helps us accurately refer your business, and it helps us just know more about your business in general. Because a lot of things, I mean, I'm thinking about Russ with Pinnacle Financial Partners. He's been on our board the whole time I've been here. He's been vice chair. He's been on the executive committee. I know Russ very well, but there were tons of things about Pinnacle that I did not know until he came on this podcast.
And I think it's hard sometimes, especially through chamber work, to kind of separate the person from the business. But I think this podcast gives like a nice blend of both. You're getting their personal stories, you're getting professional stories, you're getting the organizational story. And it's all from like the people that are doing the work and know what they're talking about. And it's, I think when I ask people to like, you know, think about talking points of what they want to say, it kind of forces them to reevaluate, you know, what is it that I do?
Right.
What do I want to actually tell people about our organization? And there's a lot of the nonprofits that come on, they have to cut themselves off because there's so much that like nonprofit members are able to do. And with businesses, it's a little bit more straightforward, and there's certain things you can and cannot say. But even then, like I just discover the most interesting things about people. And I will tell you, listeners, you would love to be a fly on the wall once we finish this podcast, because then we're like, by the way, I wanted to say this thing, but I couldn't say it on air. I'm like, yes, tell me more. But it really is great. And I've loved like seeing our listenership grow. And it's sometimes a little creepy when I'm out in public and people are like, I recognize your voice. Are you the host of the Chambers podcast? I'm like, yes, I am. Or like, but it's great. And that's happened more times than I can count at this point.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. But I mean, it like freaks me out a little bit because I'm like, oh my God, it's crazy. You recognize me from my voice. But it's also good to know that people are actually listening and that it's helpful.
Yeah. And for our members, it's a member only benefit to be able to do our podcast with us. It's no extra cost to you. And a lot of the times, if you like the cost breakdown, if you will, of a podcast episode nearly pays for your chamber membership for the entire year if you looked at it that way. So if you only do the podcast and you don't do anything else the whole year, you pretty much get your money's worth. And like we said a minute ago, that's an hour of your time. So it's a really great benefit. I'm so glad we've been able to continue it all this time. And I'm looking forward to continuing it under the new kind of branding with the new name and all that. But another thing that is coming up new is our 2027 community guide.
Oh, yes.
And I just want to touch on that for a few minutes because it really is kind of one of the most visible ways that we support and promote our local businesses. You don't have to be a chamber member to advertise in the community guide. We are transitioning back to a 1-year guide instead of a 2-year guide. We've done the 2-year guides for, I guess, 2 editions, so 4 years. But going back to changing things very intentionally, it was a very intentional decision to go back to a 1-year guide because things change so quickly. Businesses open and close and move, and there's just so much that can change in a year. So we wanted to make sure that information was as accurate and up to date as possible. And, it's just so widely distributed, especially through the Welcome Center. It goes directly into the hands of new residents, visitors.
I think they had something like 30,000 visitors for the whole year last year.
Yeah.
And D-Day had 60,000. And our guides are really, they're at the Welcome Center, of course, and they mail them to people and give them out. But also, there's the train, my old friend. They're really anywhere that you can think of. They're at Poplar Forest. They're at all the airports in the area. Anywhere with a lobby. If you go to the salon, you might see a guide there. If you go to the Bedford Country Club, they fly off the shelves there. It's ridiculous. People come in for tournaments and stuff, and they leave with a handful of guides to share with people. But they really do travel far, and it's not just demographics of our community, which is of course useful, but it's also telling the stories of like Smith Mountain Lake and the Peaks of Otter and giving people, an idea of what Bedford is like at the heart of it. We can't capture everything.
Yeah.
But we want to make it aesthetic. We want to make it informational. We want to make it inspirational so that you want to come here and you want to live here and you want to play here.
Yeah, and for a lot of people, it's like the first kind of introduction to our community, our business community. And I think that being included as an advertiser, it's more than just advertising. It's the credibility of your business.
Yeah.
It's saying I'm an established business here. I'm a trustworthy business here. The credibility of being a chamber member and being in an edition like that is really important. So that the ad sales are open right now for the community guide. They'll be open for the next 9 or so months. And you'll see some information in the newsletter and in our office and wherever else you look, because we'll have it everywhere. But we have an estimated publication of January 2027. So it'll be a full 12 months that guide is out there. So we're really looking forward to that new edition and moving back to the 1 year to make sure our information is as up to date as possible.
Yep. And we have a lot of programming that we've like tightened and strengthened and grown, but we also have some new things going on this year. Kayla, is there anything in particular that you want to highlight?
Specific programming?
Yeah. I know. I feel like we're still in like I haven't announced this stage for some of it.
Yeah, we're still, confirming some things, but one thing that I think will be really exciting is a new advocacy event that we're working on putting together. We don't have all the details yet, but just the importance of being kind of the center of your community and advocating for different things has become more and more important, especially in our local elections. We already do our legislative wrap-up breakfast in the spring to kind of recap the General Assembly, and of course that's more at like a state level, but our candidate forum in September is for local elections. We do a Q&A with any candidates that are up for election, and we've changed that kind of over the years. Yeah. People said they wanted to see the candidate forum before early voting started, so we made that switch, I think last year or the year before. So we're looking at adding a third advocacy event this year to just kind of strengthen, I think, all of our advocacy programming as a whole. I think that it would be able to add a lot more perspective as we go into the candidate forum. So excited about that. We'll announce that once we have more of the details all together. But I'm excited about that, and I'm excited to kind of strengthen and improve our smart networking series. Oh, yes. We started that, I guess, 2 years ago now.
2 years ago.
And the concept is just really neat. I mean, we take topics that people are specifically asking for from our member survey, and it can be anything. We've done hiring, marketing, grant writing. It can be anything that you're suggesting that you say you need help with in your business. And we spend more time than you would probably believe trying to figure out how many of these we can do, because we want to solve as many problems as we can. So the grant writing smart session or smart networking has been extremely popular.
Very popular, very helpful.
We're this year trying to kind of expand that a little bit. I think we have hopefully 4 or more that will be able to pan out. So it's it's just really nice to be able to directly answer issues that people are facing, and just kind of, make our, like we're talking about, the whole kind of concept of this podcast, ever changing, ever evolving, to make sure that we're giving our members what they need most.
Yeah, and I love the smart networking sessions because it's so focused on what people are asking us for. They're not terribly long. They're generally 2-ish hours, and they're very affordable. If you're a member, it's free. If you're not a member, it has a very low cost. And we just want to make it accessible to everybody. We're really excited to keep doing it this year and to make it better. And if you're interested in facilitating anything at all, we have a couple ideas on what we want to do and we have a plan. But the hardest part is finding people that are willing to teach others or to just talk about their own experience. Some of the smart networking sessions are facilitated by awesome people like Joanne Miller and Emily Joseph, who do our grant writing workshop. And they know a lot about grants. They know a lot about writing for grants and distributing them and helping others, complete those applications. But some of the other ones that we're thinking about are going to be panel focused. So if you are willing to talk about what it is that you do, let us know. We might not, need your experience at the time, but it's nice to have it in our back pocket if we do.
For sure. I mean, it's hard to find people that are willing to talk about certain things because they don't think that they know enough about it, or they don't feel like they're a subject matter expert on whatever it is. But a lot of the times, people just want different perspectives. And the people who come to these sessions are not coming here because you're the number one person to talk on this subject. It's because you are able to offer a perspective that they don't have.
Yep.
Especially when we have a panel, because we are sitting down in our office trying to say, if we have 5 people on this panel, let's get 5 totally different people that do totally different things so that our audience will be able to see as many types of perspectives as possible when they leave.
Yeah. And what I often hear at smart networking and at business roundtables and really any other event where we have a topic, oftentimes people learn much more from each other and just like answering questions and sharing their own experience than they do from just a presentation. So we want to make these as interactive as possible. If maybe you're like a grant writing expert or you're very experienced HR manager and you don't really think you need the help, but you are willing to attend and share experience and make new connections with others in the room, please come. We want to have you there. We want to have you as part of our chamber. Even if that's like what I always tell people too, like if they feel like they don't really need like help with their business or they're already established, like that's awesome. We still want you to be a part of us because you have a lot that others can learn from.
Right.
And it's a great way to kind of, foster a healthy competition in our workforce.
Yeah, and it's amazing to go from being the person that needs a lot of help to being the person that can offer help to others.
Yeah.
That is amazing growth, and not everyone experiences that. So if you have made it to the other side, again, that's a great perspective that you can offer someone who's just starting out or feels like they have a ton of questions or they don't know what the future looks like in that subject. You are a great example of what an extra year of work or whatever could be.
That's awesome. We want to celebrate you.
Yeah.
We want you to be part of our community. Well, I'm going to cut us off on the programming because how on earth have we already been talking for this long? Time flies. But we have a lot of other stuff to cover, and we could talk about programming for literally days. Something that I think is a really exciting new change is our new mission and vision statement. And you have kind of been the brains behind the operation on that, so I'm going to let you just delve right into that.
Perfect. I wrote some things down so I didn't forget everything that I wanted to say. We have had at least the mission statement. I don't know for sure about the vision statement, but our mission has been the same since we were incorporated in 1939. So
that's crazy.
That's
a very long time.
86 years of the same mission statement. And it has served us well over the years. But again, we've talked a lot about how the chamber has evolved, the community has evolved. And just in the last few years, even since the two of us have been here, we've seen a lot of changes in how businesses operate.
Mm-hmm.
We have put a lot more focus on workforce collaboration, especially with our schools, with the CTE Expo, with our local government. So we wanted a mission and vision statement that really clearly reflect what we do every day. It wasn't just, we didn't change it just for the sake of changing it. We changed it so that we could have that clarity, have the relevance, and people would be able to see who we are, what we do, and where we're trying to go.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned our new mission statement in your introduction.
I did.
But the official new mission statement is to serve as a catalyst for local business success, a convener of regional leadership, and a champion for a vibrant and resilient economy. So again, going back to intentionality, we were very careful about the wording that we chose. We wanted it to really represent who we are and what we do. And our new vision statement, meaning what kind of future are we working towards? The dream is a thriving region where businesses grow, communities prosper, and leadership works together for a shared future. And again, all of this super, super intentional. I spent months going back and forth, changing little words here and there. But one thing that I noticed when I first started here in your role, everyone is doing amazing things in Bedford, but no one talks to each other. Yeah. No one knows what other groups are doing. So a lot of times you have people that are all rowing in the same direction, but they're in all different boats. If we would just all get in the same boat and keep rowing that same direction, we would get there so much faster. So I'm really made it a priority to collaborate more, have more intentional partnerships, and we've really taken huge strides in those things over the years. But kind of how the mission vision is impacting us is it gives us a really clear kind of pathway when we have someone suggest a new program, suggest a new event. We can kind of go through our mission, our vision, our strategic plan, our community impact pillars, which we'll mention in just a second, and see, does that align with what we're trying to do? We really are trying to bring everything together, make sure that everything is as impactful as possible as we move into the future. So our 4 community impact pillars are regional prosperity, workforce and talent development, civic engagement, and future leadership. And what these 4 things do are really bring focus, consistency, and purpose to everything that we do. So, we've changed a lot of programming, we've cut some things, we've added some things, and again, these 4 pillars really give us that framework to be able to figure out what means the most, what matters the most, who does this program serve, why does it exist. So I'm really looking forward to these changes. You'll start seeing them on social media and website and all that as soon as we can get to it, but as of January 1st, it's our official new branding.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
I love it so much. And it's amazing from like a staff perspective, how it changes, how we frame everything, how we talk about ourselves, everything that we do.
Yeah.
But also for a member, do you want to talk a little bit about, how this affects them and their experience as a chamber member, whether they're, super close to us in a committee or whether they're, maybe not super involved yet or just getting started with their involvement?
Yeah, I mean, I think that changing this kind of helps us shift. We're already kind of doing this internally as a staff, but we're shifting from kind of a one-size-fits-all approach to chamber membership to something that's more sectioned off, if you will. I mean, we want things to really benefit each member as much as possible, and the things that benefit the BWX and Framatome and big businesses like that, those things don't always necessarily benefit the really small mom and pop coffee shop that's downtown. So we're really trying to kind of section off our programming and make sure that we're working as well as we can for each person and each individual member. But one thing that's kind of difficult with that is we don't want to say, we can do this for you, but not for someone else.
Yes.
That is not the point at all. This is what we do. Here's how we can tailor it to help a nonprofit versus a large business. So we're really making sure that we're sticking to what we do well. We're not overcommitting. And this mission, vision, community impact pillars, our strategic plan, everything helps us shape everything really nicely so that we can present to you what it is we really do every day. Because there are tons of people right now that still have no clue what we do every day.
Yeah.
People come in our office every day. Oh, what is this? I thought this is
Can I drop off my electrical bill here, please?
Yeah. So just changing this is kind of helping us move to the future of more having a compact way of saying this is what we do. And this is what we can offer, not just to our members, but to the community as a whole.
Yeah. And I think that circles back to come talk to us. Come talk to us. Even if it's just a quick phone call or email, or if you happen to be in town and you just want to pop by for 10 minutes, come talk to us.
Yeah. And we have our chamber chats. We have a Calendly link. It's on our Facebook website. You can schedule a 30-minute meeting with us. It's probably the best way, just to make sure we're not in a meeting or anything when you pop by, but we're more than happy to get on a Zoom call if you don't want to come to Bedford, or, you can come to us, we can come to you, and just kind of walk through things, what we do, how we can benefit you, what you're looking for, if you have any suggestions, if there's anything, legislative type things that you are really passionate about. While we don't directly impact that, I can take any suggestions, especially things that I'm getting multiple times, and I do make sure that I get those to our town council, our board of supervisors, our delegates, even if it's more of a state issue. So if there's something like that is important to you or your business, come to the chamber, let me know, send me an email even, because it goes back to kind of the credibility of chambers of commerce and being a member. If we as the chamber say, hey, delegates, this is what we're hearing from businesses in Bedford, it kind of can be a little bit more impactful for them to know that we're hearing this from multiple people, and it's not just a random one-off here and there.
I'm trying to decide if we need to be quiet now, if we need to wrap ourselves up, because we've been chatting for a while, and we had a lot of other things that we want to talk about, of course, but I think kind of the message of this episode is we're changing because we want to help you as the world changes. And there's so many ways that we can equip businesses with the knowledge and the training that they need and the opportunities that they need to get in the door with people. And if you aren't a part of our chamber, now would be a great time to join. Like I said, at the very beginning of this, January 29th, we're having our kickoff event for the year. Again, that's a great way to just come meet everybody that's kind of at the core of chamber leadership, learn more about, what we're about. And also we want to learn about you, because that's the best way that we can, tell you about the things that we're not going to tell everybody, come to our Christmas market. We want you to sell your goods there. But we probably will tell you, we have a great workshop coming up that we think that you could be a part of, or we want to have this type of networking event next year, but we need a great space for it. We think your building could be great for it? Or even just if you tell us about yourselves, we're going to talk about you to everybody.
Yeah.
We talk to so many people.
We do. Our referrals are one of the biggest things that we do. I mean, even people that don't totally know what a chamber of commerce does, they know that they can go to the chamber to get a referral for a business. We have people call, stop in, and sometimes it's very niche. We may not always have someone in our membership, but you do have to be a chamber member to be referred from us. So that is another kind of piece of that credibility and another great benefit of being a chamber member. I mean, even connecting. I had a member who had recently joined. They came in for a chamber chat. We were going through some different options of things that they could do with us. And I ended up mentioning Media Squatch to them. And they were like, oh, they had never heard of it. And I was like, go talk to Woody.
Go right down the hill.
Yeah. So I think, looking ahead, we're kind of focusing on like a deeper impact. Like you're saying, we're not just focused on more activity and just trying to get you to do everything. We want it to be impactful for you and your business. And that's also why we have shifted so much of our programming over the years, is because just because we have 5 events a month doesn't mean that it's impactful.
Yeah.
So you might feel like we have less events on the calendar. We don't do as many
freeform networking,
the business after hours, before hours. We really don't do those anymore because people don't really enjoy them with us. And, there are other groups that might do that kind of thing better than us. And I don't mind saying that. If you do something that is successful, go for it. For us, it was not very successful after COVID. So that's why we switched. And now we're doing the smart networking, where you get a little bit of that freeform networking, but the bulk of it is educational, and you're walking away with a lot of information and resources plus those connections.
Yeah. And I like that we have those opportunities that you can kind of make what you want out of it, even though there's some structure. And doing speed networking too, I love doing that because we've done so many of the freeform networking, and it can be really fun sometimes, but it can also be like, why did I just talk about the weather with 5 different people when I'm here to make business connections? Or there's like a ton of people at one, but nobody at the next. It's just, I like having structure. I like being able to guarantee that people will talk about their business with others. They will promote themselves. They will get X number of new connections out of it. You're going to go home with a nice bag of business cards for yourself. And I just love that we can do that. And our job fairs have grown. Oh, I love the job fairs.
Yeah.
I love the job fairs.
One thing that I do want to make sure we mention before we wrap up is just heading into the new year. People seem like they get busier and busier. They don't want to make the time for different things. Kids, there's so many things that keep you from going to just another event or another work meeting or anything like that. But kind of a piece of advice going into a new year is to just be intentional about how you're engaging with us. And that goes back to you saying you're not going to tell everyone to come to the Christmas market, because that's not going to benefit everyone. If you're being intentional about how you're engaging with us, what you're doing with us, show up in the ways that make sense for your business. In with the new is a really great way to connect early. I mean, you can't be out of place there. We'll have so many board members and ambassadors there. If you walk in looking lost, you won't take 2 steps before someone's over there talking to you. So it's just a really kind of inclusive environment, where you can kind of meet some new faces. And then between the expertise of us, our ambassadors, and our board members, we will be able to give you connections to people, even if they're not in the room that day. But another really important piece of chamber membership in general is the visibility. And that goes back to things like the community guide, the podcast, the radio. You're looking for ways to tell your business's story. And we have so many opportunities to be able to do that and kind of help you long term. And my final point about this is that chamber membership is not always like quick wins. Sometimes you have to think of the long term. And I always think about the job fair and the CTE Expo. The CTE Expo, we're focusing generally on middle school students. There are businesses that have a hard time saying, why would I spend all day talking to 8th graders when I need people to work right now? The answer to that is those 8th graders will be working for you in just a few short years. And if you are able to put the time and energy into these kids now, it will really, really pay off for you in the long run. we get it 100% that
We
you're
do.
busy. We don't have the time either. But just being able to think long term really can benefit you with chamber membership in so many ways, because there are so many things that, while it may not give you what you think you need right here in this moment, it will in 6 months, in a year.
And I think so many businesses are community minded nowadays. Like, they really think about what is going to benefit the Bedford area. And I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes we get down in the dregs, especially later in the year when we're burnt out and we're like, we need the quick fix of money, of employees, of time, getting everything done, wrapping up. And I totally get it. But sometimes it's important to think about, why is the chamber doing this?
Yeah.
We're doing this for your benefit as an individual organization, but our true purpose is by helping the businesses, nonprofits, organizations, institutions, and people in our chamber. We can therefore serve our entire area and help Bedford prosper.
Right. And that's one of the best things, in my opinion, about Bedford
Yeah.
is the people, the sense of community. Everyone is so proud to be from Bedford.
Mm-hmm.
They're proud of this community, and they want to do whatever they can to help it prosper. So, I'm from a small town very much like Bedford, but the kind of community feel of having so much pride for your town really is different here. And I hear that from everyone else that's like, oh, I just moved to Bedford a few years ago. The people here are so nice. And it really is true.
It is true.
It's just a difference in people here, and just seeing how people want to be able to improve our students and our community in general, because eventually those kids are going to have to make a decision. Do they move away, go to college, get a job somewhere else, or do they come back home? And for a lot of people, it can seem like coming back home is the worst choice, if you will, but that's just not the case at all. We have such a great area here. We just have to show people why they should stay here.
Yes. And I'm a person that's from here that came back here, and I got a lot of are you okay? Did something happen? Why are you back? I'm like, right. No, I love my hometown. I love Bedford. I love working here. I love my job. I love what we're able to do for Bedford through this work. And I think it's just important for us to, when it comes to student partnerships especially, is show students that it's not just get out or be stuck. There's so many different things that are available right here. And whether it's training or a career or a college or just a great place to live your life and raise your family or whatever, I think it's really what you make of it. And I think it's just really, I don't know, I think it's important for businesses to be involved with that. And we offer a lot of different ways to get involved with schools, but also to get involved with workforce development and the chamber as a whole and other businesses. So if maybe some of the things we've talked about strike a chord with you, if you want to come out to some programming, or maybe you want to be more involved and you want to serve on a committee, or you're interested in being on our board, we would love to talk to you about it. There are so many great untapped resources and different people and potential here. And our goal is to collect them all, and to work together and do great things together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Michaela, I think we should end on that note.
Yeah, I think we're at a good stopping point.
Well, if people want to get in touch with you to learn more, or maybe they're considering becoming a member, what's the best way to do so?
The best way to get in touch with me is by email. It's ceo@baccva.org. It's also on the website under the staff tab. Both of our email addresses are listed there. Our office is open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 to 5. You can stop by if you'd like. One downside of having a small staff is that we do sometimes need to close the office for a little bit. Like right now, it's 10 o'clock, no one's there, because we're both here. So, I think that email is probably the best thing. Or you can go on our website and sign up for a chamber chat, and that way you know that we have a meeting time on the schedule. But I'm totally open to hearing any thoughts, ideas, feedback, suggestions. Kind of as we move into the future, like like we've mentioned, we're kicking off our new mission, vision, community impact pillars. Our new strategic plan is starting this month. So we have a lot that's kind of looking into the future, and I'm always open to hear what thoughts people have. So feel free to send me an email anytime or stop by.
Well, thank you so much for making the time to join me today, Madam President.
Anytime.
Anytime. I'm going to remember that. Well, you're listening to Not Just Buildings, hosted by the Bedford Area Chamber of Commerce and produced by Media Squatch. There are so many great people working together to make the Bedford area a great place to live, work, and do business, and we hope that by telling their stories, our listeners are able to become more connected to our community. After all, there are so many hidden gems, services, resources, and amazing opportunities just waiting to be seized right here in the area of Bedford, Virginia. If you like this interview, I have great news for you. New episodes come out every week, and we have lots of episodes for you to catch up on in the meantime. Episodes are available on Media Squatch Plus, our producer's local streaming app, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, our weekly newsletter, Facebook and website, and anywhere else you can find podcasts. If you want to learn more about us at the Chamber, we encourage you to check out our website, bedfordareachamber.com, or give us a call at 540-586-9401. Thanks so much for listening, and keep an ear out for the next episode of Not Just Buildings.